Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have another NBA mock draft reaction. This time it's from Jonathan Wasserman, who I know for sure is Bleacher Report's #1 draft analyst. On the cover we have Reed Shepard, so we'll see where he goes. But 2024 NBA mock draft full 2-round predictions post trade deadline. Gonna be interesting to see what we have here. And with the first overall pick, we have the Detroit Pistons taking Alexander Sarr. Obviously, like usual, I will be giving its draft grades. And before we officially start this, because we did know Alexander Sarr was going to go #1, before we officially start this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go into the description, click the link for Google Forms so you can suggest videos, because I promise I will do every single one suggested. So first, we have Alexander Sarr to the Pistons. I've mocked this as many times as I could, except the first mock draft, because the last two mock drafts I have done a lottery, so the other times I was not able to do it. So I think I did mock Alexander Sarr to the Pistons twice or 3 times. However many times the Pistons had the first overall pick, Alexander Sarr was going to them. Alexander Sarr, excuse me. But yep, I'll give it an A+. It's just, in my opinion, the best pick available. I think he fits pretty well, sliding into the 4 next to Jalen Duren for the future. Sarr, an amazing defender. I've raved about his perimeter defense a lot. But we know interior, obviously, he's 7 foot with his 7-foot+ wingspan. But he's also able to go out on the perimeter and guard some of his league's best guards. So it's nice to see a new, fresh center prospect like Alexander Sarr, who can really do everything on the defensive side of the ball. I'm giving it an A+ to the Pistons. I said center, but he can really play the 4 or the 5. Second overall pick, we're going to have the Washington Wizards taking Zachary Sachet. I like this pick. I think did I project this one? I can't remember. If I didn't, it's a fine pick. The Wizards are in very, very, very need of shooting, and Zachary Sachet is one of the best shooting prospects there are in this draft class. Yeah, it's a fresh breath of air from our regular French prospects who really are not able to shoot the ball. But Zachary Sachet is sort of a flamethrower. I think right away he'll be able to bring floor spacing for that Wizards team. But probably won't be able to create his own shot right off the bat. He'll have to ease into that, but otherwise, it's a great pick for the Wizards. I think this is a great fit. I'll probably give it an A, just because I think, yes, Zachary Sachet is a better fit to the Wizards, but prospect-wise, I'll probably take Cody Williams over Zachary Sachet, so that's kind of negating the A+ right there. At 3, is he doing, no, I was going to see if he was doing player comparisons, but looks like he is not. At 3, we have the Spurs taking Nikola Topic. I'm going to give it an A+. In my opinion, it's the best fit there is in this draft. Topic is the best point guard in this draft class, and he's going to the Spurs, who are in need of a point guard. They need someone to set up Victor Wembanyama for the next decade plus, and Nikola Topic, at his 6'6" frame, is going to be able to do that very, very well. I'm giving it an A+. I think it's the most perfect fit in this draft class, and I'm hoping that the Spurs are able to get Nikola Topic. At 4, we have the Hornets. He has them taking Ron Holland. So Ron Holland over Cody Williams. Interesting. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, Ron Holland was viewed as the top draft prospect. Now he's probably hovering somewhere between 7 and 12. Overall, I don't hate the pick. Would I lean Cody Williams in this situation? Probably, but I'm going to give it an A-. No, I'll give it a B+. It's not a bad pick. I just would probably take I'd probably take Cody Williams over Ron Holland, even though Ron Holland is a good player. At 5, we have the Blazers taking Cody Williams. So, yeah, I'm fine with this one. 4 and 5 interchanged, then so be it. I'm going to give this one an A. I think it's a great fit to the Blazers. Cody Williams could possibly come in right away and have his starting position. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe at the 3. If we have, let's say they move on from Brogdon this offseason, and we have Scoot, Simons, I guess there is Shaedon Sharpe, so maybe not starting right away unless they want to move him to a little bit of a small ball 4, even though he's not so small. I mean, he's 6'8", he's just a bit skinny at 190. So overall, I like the pick. I'm giving it an A. It's a good fit. Also, Cody Williams is one of my favorite draft prospects. He's my second best player in this draft, and if you're getting him at 5, then that's a good move for you. I'm giving it an A. At 6, we have the Memphis Grizzlies taking Rob Dillingham. Sure, I mean, I'll probably want to read this description a little bit just to make sure he is see if he's planning on whether or not him and Ja will play together. It doesn't really say too much about it. Looks like he is going to talk about Dillingham coming off the bench. I think it's a fine pick. I think the Grizzlies in this situation will most likely trade out of that spot because teams are going to be clamoring to trade up for Rob Dillingham. So I do think this is probably a trade out spot. But if you want to stay put, Rob Dillingham's cool at this point. Maybe even one of the older prospects like Kevin McCullough or Dalton Connects, but it's probably a little bit too early for those guys. So I'm cool with Rob Dillingham. Also, maybe even Jacoby Walter if they need scoring off the bench. I like this pick. I'm going to give it an A. At 7, we have the Spurs taking Matas Buzelis. I think this is a good pick. He is giving it, or he gave them Nikola Topic with the 2nd or the 3rd overall pick, and now he's giving them Matas Buzelis with the 7th overall pick. Yeah, the Spurs' top 2 needs in this draft class are going to be point guard, which they filled with Nikola Topic, and bigger/longer wings. Because right now, you have Keldon Johnson, who's 6'3", 6'4", and you have Devin Vassell, who's 6'4", 6'5". After that, you have Shetty Osman, who is not part of your future. Same thing with Doug McDermott. So we just get a long, lanky wing like Matas Buzelis to fill that position of need. I like the pick for the Spurs. I'm going to give it an A- just because it might be a tad bit too early for Matas Buzelis, especially because of his struggles at G League Ignite so far. But I don't mind the pick. I'm going to give it an A-. I like the positional value. It's a good pick for the Spurs. At 8, we have the Rockets taking Reed Sheppard. I also like this pick. I think Reed Sheppard can come in. I think I actually have this one mocked. I think Reed Sheppard can come in right away and fill a very important positional need for the Rockets. You might be thinking the Rockets have way too many guards and bringing in Reed Sheppard would not be smart. Fred VanVleet, probably not entirely, I guess, part of their future. Probably, okay, I guess that makes sense. Amen Thompson, he can really play the 1 through the 3. I'd like to see him improve that 3-point jump shot, but he's really been playing more of a small forward role this year. Jalen Green, another guy, is he really part of that future? I don't know. We'll see. Then you have guys like Cam Whitmore who play more of the wing. Same thing with Tari Eason. So Reed Sheppard could really slide into that backup point guard/shooting guard role, whether that's behind Fred VanVleet or behind Jalen Green. And maybe if they decide to move on from one of those guys, he could slide into that starting position. I really like this pick. Reed Sheppard has been one of the more surprising prospects during this season, at least out of the collegiate affair. I really like this pick. I think I'm going to give it an A. Reed Sheppard is a great player, and right now he is definitely a top 10 draft pick. At 9, we have the OKC Thunder taking Kyle Filipowski. They do need big depth. Right now, their backup center/power forwards are Jalen Williams, Gordon Hayward, Ousmane Dieng, Alexis Pokusevski. Really what I'm saying is that they don't have much. And Kyle Filipowski will fill that pretty well. I want to see whether or not he considers him a power forward or center. He does consider him a power forward. So there's that. And right now, considering you're starting Jalen Williams, 6'5", 6'6" wing at your power forward, that's a little bit problematic because he does not have the length and strength that Kyle Filipowski is going to be able to bring for them if he does end up at 9. It's not a bad pick. I'm going to give it a B+. I think they could probably utilize wing. I'm not going to say point guard. I'm going to say more wing, or maybe a player who could play really the 1 through 3, like someone like Stephon Castle, or maybe more of a solidified big man like Kalel Ware, like Yves Misi, like Donovan Clingan, someone like that. So I'm going to give it a B+, even though it's a good pick. At 10, so nothing actually too surprising so far. Jacoby Walter also not so surprising at 10. Let's see whether or not they move on from one of their top guards this offseason, whether that's Trae Young or DeJounte Murray, because I think this pick is basically solidified a guard, unless they're so confident in the guard play they have right now that they're willing to go buy into a backup center like Misi, Clingan, or Ware, that they're able to forego guard. But I think that guard is the right decision. They take a shooting guard here in Jacoby Walter, who, even if they keep DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, can bring firepower off the bench. And so far at Baylor, he's been a really good scorer. He came into a team that already had good wing/guard scorers and even brought some more through the transfer portal. So him having good success at Baylor, was very, I'm not going to say apparent, but it is apparent, but it really shows why he's most likely going to be a lottery prospect for this upcoming draft. It's a good pick at 10. I'm going to give it a B+. At 11, we have the Chicago Bulls taking Tejan Salon. I don't mind this pick, especially because some of the top guard prospects are already off the board. I guess you could think of somebody like Isaiah Collier or Stephon Castle. But Tejan Salon's not bad. I think that the Bulls, to start their official rebuild, I think they need to get more of a lead guard, maybe someone to place next to Kobe White. Because I want to bring back Patrick Williams, hypothetically, if they do go into that rebuild. And I just don't know if you want to get a prospect or raw project player like Tejan Salon at 11. I think they should probably let Tejan Salon slip a little bit farther and go for a guard. I know a guy like Jacoby Walters off the board, a guy like Rob Dillingham's off the board, so I guess Reed Shepard. But I probably would want to get more of a lead guard before someone like Reed Shepard. So probably look for someone like Stephon Castle, Isaiah Collier, Rob Dillingham, or Jacoby Walter before Shepard. But interesting. I don't mind the pick. I don't think it's a great pick. Probably my least favorite pick he's had so far. I'm probably going to give it a B- though. Salon is definitely a first-round prospect, but I don't really have him as a lottery guy right now. He could end up in that lottery range, though. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Overall, not a great pick. I'll give it a B-. At 12, we have the OKC Thunder taking Yves Missi. I like this pick. I think Missi, Kel'el Ware, and Donovan Clingan are really coming into that 1A, 1B, 1C type prospects for the center position, unless, of course, we're considering Kyle Filipowski and Kel'el Ware centers as well. But if we're not considering them centers, then 1A, 1B, 1C, somewhere, however you want to say it, between Yves Missi, Kel'el Ware, and Donovan Clingan. I don't mind this pick. I do think that the OKC Thunder do need to get more big man depth. They did pick Kyle Filipowski, so they're doubling up here, which is interesting, but I could see it happen. Probably would look for more of a wing here at 12, but don't mind this. If there were to pick big man at 12, I think Missi or Clingan would be the pick over Kel'el Ware, just because I think Kel'el Ware and Chet Holmgren's playstyle is a little bit too similar, and they might want to get more of a change of pace guy from a more lanky shooting type of player like Chet Holmgren than getting a more of a lob threat like Yves Missi or a paint beast like Donovan Clingan, at least on the defensive side of the ball. It's a good pick, though, for the Thunder. I'm going to give it an A-. At 13, we have the Blazers taking Donovan Clingan. This pick is via the Warriors, so I guess note that. But I think this is a cool pick. Clingan will immediately come in and bring paint presence for them on the defensive side of the ball. And if he develops that three-point shot and becomes quicker on his feet, then Clingan can turn into an amazing NBA player. The Blazers will most likely move on from Ayton this offseason, considering they've or at least the front office hasn't talked so good about him this season, compared him to Hassan Whiteside with his attitude, which, interesting, who knows. And Robert Williams is out for the season. So right now, their starting center is Ibu Baji. Honestly, hasn't been playing too bad so far. I guess also Duop Reef has, I think, started some games. Those guys haven't played too bad so far, but we really do need to get another guy in that room, because Robert Williams, we don't know his future, and we definitely are unsure of the future of DeAndre Ayton. So I like this pick for the Blazers. I'm going to be giving it a B+, because probably would consider Kel'el Ware a little bit better of a prospect than Clingan right now, but I don't mind the pick. Honestly, I like it. It's getting a B+. At 14, we have the Pelicans taking Dalton Connect. With this pick, I'm most likely going to be taking a center or a point guard, so I'm a little bit confused on the Dalton Connect pick, especially because they have Trey Murphy, they have Jordan Hawkins, they have these wings who have shown to shoot the ball like crazy. So getting Dalton Connect a little bit interesting, unless they plan to move someone to a point guard position. Is it Dalton Connect? Probably not. Don't really like this pick. Don't really like the fit. Don't really like the fit in general. I think Kel'el Ware is the better pick here. I think Isaiah Collier is the better pick here. I think Stephon Castle's the better pick here. But they decided to go Dalton Connect. Probably my least favorite pick so far from him. from Jonathan Wasserman. I think that is who he's doing this mock draft, right? Jonathan Wasserman. Just making sure. Yes, Jonathan Wasserman, my least favorite pick so far. It's gonna get a C plus. The fit's not amazing. The value's okay, but the fit is not really there considering we already have a lot of guys that are similar to Don't Connect on this team when they have more apparent needs at the point guard position and at the center position. At 15, we have the Miami Heat taking Stephon Castle. I love this pick. The Heat do need defending point guard depth because right now it's Terry Rozier and it's Tyler Hero, who are both not great defending guards. Bringing in a 6'6" point guard and Stephon Castle, listed as shooting guard, but that's because Tristan Newton's there. He's someone who's going to be able to play between the 1 and the 3. He's a lockdown perimeter defender. He's an aggressive slasher. If underneath the right development staff, which I think the Heat very much do have that, he might be able to turn into an all-star type of player. Does have to get that jump shot down, though, which recently he has been able to do. But we'll see. Stephon Castle, very high ceiling, and I love the fit to the Heat at 15. I think I'm going to give this one an A, maybe an A+. Who knows? Thinking about what the Heat need, I'll give it an A+. I like the pick to the Heat at 15. Haven't seen Isaiah Collier yet. That is pretty interesting. Just noting that. I think Castle is a better prospect than Collier. Just saying. Top 15, no Collier is interested. At 16, he has the Magic taking Tyler Smith. If Don't Connect off the board, I don't mind this pick. Gives them a stretch 4 type of player who can also, honestly, bang down low as well. Has pretty good size at 6'11", 224. Looks like scouting report on Tyler Smith hasn't changed much since he started turning scouts' heads earlier this season. 6'11" size, shooting touch, finishing tools. I think overall he's a solid NBA player. Not too much to say about that. Overall, it's an okay pick. I'm going to give it a B. Maybe would rather Kevin McCullough here at 16, but overall, it's tough. It's not a bad pick, though. At 17, he has the Raptors taking Ulrich Komche, or Chomche, however you say it. Sure, I guess he's a center. I probably would rather Kel'el Ware, but if he has him as a better prospect than Kel'el Ware, then so be it. Komche has not found a place in my mock draft yet. Don't know if that will continue or not. I'm pretty sure that he's going to stay or not declare for the draft and actually go to a D1 college next season. So that could also be a reason why I don't have him in my first round. But overall, I think Kel'el Ware is the better pick here. I'm going to give it a B-. At 18, he has the Knicks taking Devin Carter out of Providence. Okay. Probably would rather a couple of point guards here, but Devin Carter's a great rebounding point guard, I'll tell you that. He's averaging 8 rebounds this season, which is insane. But yeah, like I said, I'm probably taking a couple of point guard prospects. I'm going to pull up the Fanspo mock drafts real quick just to test out some of these, just to see some of these guys that he did leave off. Or I guess skip over. First guy for sure is Isaiah Collier. If we're going point guard, I feel like Isaiah Collier is most likely the better prospect there. I want to see the full draft board. I don't just want to see my last picks. Out of the players available, Collier's available, DJ Wagner's available, Proctor, even though don't really like him. Bub Carrington, probably take over Devin Carter, in my opinion. Trey Alexander could be an argument. AJ Mitchell, in my opinion, I would take over Devin Carter. Adama Ball could be an argument. Tyler Kolek could be an argument. And Bronny James, who knows? We'll see if he gets drafted in the first round. Kylan Boswell as well could be an argument. Don't love the pick for the Knicks here. Think they could also go big depth. Kel'el Ware is still available, or they can go better point guard prospect. Like I said before, Isaiah Collier, AJ Mitchell, Bub Carrington, DJ Wagner, somebody like that. It's an okay pick. I'm going to give it a B-. I don't dislike it as much as I've done one of the other picks. Did I give Connect to C+? I'm going to change that to a B-, and I'm going to change Komche to a C+. I'm going to give Devin Carter, you know what? I'll give it a C+, actually. I'll bump it down 1. Next, we have the Hawks taking Isaiah Collier. If the Hawks are able to come out of this draft with Jacoby Walter and Isaiah Collier, then kudos to them, because that would be amazing. One thing they do skip on, though, is Kel'el Ware, so there's that. But overall, I guess if we're planning to move on from both Murray and Trae Young, which is highly unlikely. Here are your next two guards of the future. Probably would rather Kel'el Ware, though. I'm going to give it a B+ because it's great value at 19, but Kel'el Ware is most likely the better fit for them. At 20, we have the Suns taking Terrence Shannon Jr. Are we sure this guy is going to be in the NBA next season? If you did not know, Shannon Jr. does have a bit of off-the-court issues, so I've not included him in my first round mock draft as of yet. You can search up the off-court issues on your own. I'm not going to do it for you. But, yep, he's been okay. I mean, he's had a great collegiate regular season, but 23 years old, I guess to the Suns, if you need another shot maker, okay. But I think big depth is a lot more important for them, and Kel'el Ware is still on the board. I'm giving this a C+ just because you need big depth, and there is Kel'el Ware just sitting there at 20. I definitely would rather go Kel'el Ware to the Suns here. At 21, we have Johnny Furphy going to the Pelicans. Said it before, I'll say it again. Furphy's just a little bit too inconsistent for me, at least scoring the ball-wise, to be considered a first-round prospect for me. Could still see it happen if he is a trusted scorer continuing into the season, then going into the conference tournament, then going into the regular or March Madness or the national tournament, whatever you want to say. Overall, it's not a bad pick, but Kel'el Ware is still available, so I'm giving it a C+. At 22, Kel'el Ware finally goes, and I think he can be an amazing backup center to Joel Embiid. I'm giving this one an A+. I know, might be crazy. I'm giving this an A+. I've only gave like 2 A+ this whole mock draft, being Sar and Topic. But Kel'el Ware is a top 14 prospect for me. Having him slip to 22, I think, is a little bit wild, but not going to say too much on it. Wasserman definitely has more connections, sources than me, so maybe he knows something I don't. But overall, as a backup center, Kel'el Ware will be able to flourish with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm giving this pick an A+. At 23, he has the New York Knicks taking Kevin McCullough. So if the Knicks are that confident in passing on McCullough at, 17 to take Devin Carter? That was at 18. They were so confident to pass on Kevin McCullough that he'd be there at 23, then sure, they can make that point guard pick. Probably wouldn't be Devin Carter, but AJ Mitchell, like I said before, DJ Wagner, Tyrese Proctor, I guess, Bub Carrington, a point guard like that. But yeah, if they're confident that he'll slip to 23, then that's a nice pick. I'm going to give it an A-. It's a good pick for the Knicks there at 23. At 24, we have the Milwaukee Bucks taking Ryan Dunn. So he's actually kind of slid down the board a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least from my consensus, big board. Yep, Dunn will be able to be a pretty good player. I think the Bucks will consider filling that small forward, I'm not going to say hole. I guess you might want to consider it more of a shooting guard hole. Okay, so at point guard, obviously, we have Damian Lillard. Shooting guard, I mean, it's been a couple guys in and out of there. AJ Green, Malik Beasley, Pat Connaughton, Andre Jackson Jr. There's definitely been a couple guys, maybe even Pat Beverly now. Small forward Middleton, who's also missed some games. Power forward Giannis and center Lopez. I think they'll address the shooting guard position this offseason. Don't know if it's going to be through the draft, but if it is through the draft, I don't know if Ryan Dunn's the best player to replace or to fill that position with. Overall, not a bad pick. I'm going to give it a B+. I think it's a good pick, just a little iffy on the fit there. At 25, we have the Nuggets taking Tristan da Silva. I've seen this guy mocked mid to late second round. I've also seen this guy mocked in the first round, like right here. Sure, I mean, I guess. I think backup center might be a little bit better if they like someone like Aaron Bradshaw, Dembona, Zach E, maybe another shooter on the wing. But Silva's not a terrible player. I don't think I've seen Bobby Klintman yet, so that's interesting. He's a solid college player. We'll see how his game translates to the NBA. I'm going to give this one a B+, though. Honestly, I'll give it a B. At 26, we have Keyshawn George to the Thunder. Now, to be honest, I've wanted to get Keyshawn George in my first round. He's been playing, I mean, he's definitely had a big rise so far this season. Miami has definitely been an up-and-down team. But Keyshawn George, 6 foot, I know he's 6'8", basically 6'9", 210. I know it says 205, but I've seen 6'9", 210 on some places. Crazy athleticism, great shot creation / shot making. Overall, I would not be surprised if Keyshawn George was able to seep into the top 20 obviously depending on how he ends the season. But I really wanted to get this guy in the first round. Honestly, I'm going to try to do it my next mock draft. I like the pick to the Thunder as well. I'm going to give this one an A-. I like Keyshawn George out of Miami. At 27, we have Jared McCain to the Jazz. Sure, bench depth, great shooting. You really can't go wrong with Jared McCain if you're past pick 22, to be honest, or even past pick 20. He's a good fit to every team because you always need shooting, and Jared McCain brings that for sure. I'm going to give it an A-. It's just an overall good pick. At 28, we have Bobby Klintman to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are the type of team to take a chance on these young, I'd say high ceiling type of players. Bobby Klintman is definitely one of those guys. Klintman is 6'10", 7 foot plus wingspan. He has the frame to turn into an NBA star, but we've seen inconsistencies, especially at Wake Forest. He had to go overseas. He's been playing pretty well overseas and has probably solidified himself as a first-round pick at this current moment. But we'll see how his progression goes. Are the Cavaliers a great team to develop players? Maybe. I mean, they didn't do so well with Isaac Okoro, so you could argue not. But overall, it hasn't been terrible. Klintman's a good pick, though. I'll give it an A-. It's great value there at 28. At 29, we have Dylan Jones to the Timberwolves. I've seen Jones be compared to a guy like David Roddy. I don't know if it's just because of his frame at 6'6", 235, but I'm guessing there's a lot of other reasons. Do need to do more scouting on Dylan Jones here. Need to watch more tape because I've heard that he can be a first-round prospect. For what I've seen in my limited amount of tape studying / scouting, probably would consider him more as a early second-round guy. But to the Timberwolves at 29, I mean, I probably would go point guard here with the Timberwolves. I mean, I definitely would with DJ Wagner still available, AJ Mitchell, Adama Ball, Bub Carrington, even Tyrese Proctor. I mean, I usually don't like him, but at 29, it's not a terrible pick. Probably would go point guard here. But overall, Dylan Jones is not terrible. I'm going to give it a B. At 30, last but not least, we have KJ Simpson, another point guard that honestly could go to the Timberwolves at 29. Sure, Celtics need bench depth. KJ Simpson will provide that. He's an experienced collegiate player with Colorado. He's seen ups and downs this season. It's been pretty good. We'll see if they end up making the tournament. Overall, it's a pretty good pick to the Celtics. Would probably rather DJ Wagner or AJ Mitchell or Adama Ball or Bob Carrington or Tyrese Proctor here at 30. I think they're probably all ahead of KJ Simpson. Maybe not Adama Ball. Maybe those guys are more similar. But it's not a bad pick. I'm going to give it a B. Now it's time to do our overview of the second round. Overall, not a terrible mock draft. Definitely some bumps in the road like over Comche. Maybe don't connect. I don't really like the fit to the Pelicans. KJ Simpson, I guess, could have won a better point guard. And who was the other one I did not like? Guess that was kind of it. Unless, I guess he did drop. Oh yeah, Furphy as well. Don't really have him as a first-round pick in my book as of yet. I guess he is going to be doing pictures for the rest. Jalen Tyson at 31. Okay, I mean, sure. Probably would rather a different type of player there for the Toronto Raptors, but I don't mind the pick. Pelly Larson out of Arizona. AJ Mitchell going at 33. Great pick for the Spurs. Also, Iguodala to the Blazers, giving them more big depth. You have Zach Edey to the Bucks. Zach Edey to the Bucks. DJ Wagner going to the Timberwolves at 36. So if the Timberwolves are that confident that Wagner will fall to them at 36, that they don't have to pick him at 29, then it's a great pick. I like that pick for sure. We have Harrison Ingram to the Sixers at 37. Melvin Ajinxa, Kanan Carlisle. We have Dambona, PJ Hall, Adama Ball. There he is. Ethan Almanza, who I've definitely seen slip into the second round more and more. Might consider doing it myself. Big Z out of Kentucky. We have Tyrese Proctor at 45. Hunter Salas. Honestly, been thinking about trying to get him into my first round as well. He's had a great breakout season for Wake Forest after spending 2 years at Gonzaga before. Alex Caravan at 47. Coleman Hawkins at 48. Judah Mintz, 49. Deron Holmes. Luka Poplar, Trey Alexander, Paulcom Didier, Montes Robstavacius. Don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I've watched some tape on him. I really like his play. Could end up slipping into the first round, to be honest, or not slipping, leaking into the first round. Trevon Brazile, Baylor Shireman, Justin Edwards, Cam Jones, and yeah, other two picks were forfeited because teams like to cheat or tamper or whatever the reason is or was why they were not first round. Well, there's not two more first round picks. Thanks for watching this video, though. I think Wasserman did a pretty good job. Overall, much respect to him. He's one of the best there is in the draft analyst community / category, or however you want to put it. So yeah, it was a good one. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go into the description, click the Google Forms link, and make sure to submit your video ideas, because I promise I will do it if you submit it. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next time. Peace.